Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another Google Campfire 1. My name is Vic Indotra. I'm a Vice President of Engineering at Google. And on behalf of Google, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to everybody that's here this evening, as well as the much, much larger audience that happens to be watching us live stream this event in HD for the very first time. So thank you for spending your evening with us. We have some very exciting announcements to make this evening, some new products. I think you'll be as excited as we are. Today's event and announcements really center around Google Apps. And as I'm sure most of you know, Google Apps is really a collection of our most popular products, things like Gmail and Calendar and Docs, all customized for your business, for your domain. Now, while you know that, you might not realize the degree of adoption and momentum that Google Apps has. In the past several years, we've grown to now having over 2 million businesses that have gone Google. And just this weekend, we crossed our 25 millionth user on Google Apps. And we're incredibly humbled and excited to see this level of adoption. That adoption has occurred with all kinds of businesses. Businesses who've chosen to move their apps to the cloud. That includes businesses like startups, small and medium-sized businesses, universities and schools, and even Fortune 500 companies. You know, if you look back and you think back to when we first started with Gmail, almost half a decade ago, you know, we were one of a handful of vendors who believed that you should run business applications in the cloud. And it's amazing what's happened in those years. Today, virtually all kinds of applications that a business might need, from payroll to CRM to document management, you name it, that kind of software is now available as cloud-based software. And so we're very excited to see the world moving that way and the momentum towards cloud-based businesses. But there is a challenge. You know, for a minute, imagine that you're a business that has to integrate multiple vendors who are all providing you cloud-based services. You know, there's some challenges. Do your employees have to log in to each of these applications separately? Do your employees have to learn different navigation across every one of these apps? Is the data in each one of these cloud-based applications in silos? Can you share across these things? Well, the reality is today, those are some of the challenges and the feedback we've been hearing from our customers. And tonight is about responding to that feedback. In fact, let me tell you what we're announcing. We're making available, launching tonight, the Google Apps Marketplace. Now, what is the Google Apps Marketplace? Well, put very simply, it's a great way to discover, to find, and install applications into your business. But not just any applications. Applications that are deeply integrated with Google Apps, that solve the problems I just mentioned, that enable a single sign-on, that enable different kinds of cloud-based software to share data. Applications that integrate with the navigation, integrate with the user interface of the tools that your employees already know and love and use every day. So that's what it means for employees and what it means for IT professionals that have gone Google. What does it mean for developers? Well, for developers, we think it's an equally exciting message. It's a great way for you to build, integrate, and sell your application to the same customers that have adopted Google Apps. And that is an installed base of more than 25 million users. And we think that's very, very exciting. Tonight, you're going to hear details about what's required technically to integrate into the apps marketplace. Let me give you the headlines. Let me give you the high-level bullets that you're going to hear about. Number one, the steps to integrate for a developer is to simply build an app. Now, we're not mandating that you have to build on a particular platform. You don't have to use App Engine, although we'd be delighted to see that. You may already have an existing app built on your own infrastructure, your own tools, your own hosting environment. You're going to see tonight that it's very easy to integrate even that existing app into Google Apps. Now, the integration points we're going to talk about are over a dozen integration access points. From the most obvious, that enable single sign-on, to sharing of data, to integration with the user interface, and many, many APIs that will allow you to integrate into those Google Apps. And then finally, you can sell your app in the app marketplace, selling to reach those 2 million businesses and many millions, 25 million plus users. Now, what does Google ask in return? Well, it's actually quite simple. First, it's a one-time fee of $100. And that covers as many apps as you want to submit into the apps marketplace. And then a low 20% rev share. Remember, with that rev share, you not only get to reach the 25 million customers, but you also get to take advantage of over 1,000 resellers who are not only going to be able to resell Google Apps, but may in fact be able to drive business directly to you. So we're very excited about this. And equally as exciting is to see the number of partners who joined us tonight, who are launching with us this evening. We have over 50 partners who've integrated with Google Apps and who are going to be part of the App Store as it launches this evening. On behalf of Google, we really want to express our deepest appreciation for these partners who've helped make Google Apps even more valuable and even more exciting. And for those of you who are here tonight and watching online, you're going to see some of the fantastic integration that these partners have been able to do. With that, let me turn it over to David Glazer, who's the Director of Engineering for this effort, and have him walk you through exactly how you implement this. David.
Thank you, Vic. So Vic told you what we're announcing tonight, and Vic told you why we're excited about it. And what I want to do over the next 10 or so minutes is walk you through the how. Walk you through, as a developer, what do you do to take part in the Google Apps Marketplace. And as Vic said, there's 3 steps. Build your app, which is up to you. Many of you here in the audience are developers. You already have built apps. Some of you may have new ideas triggered by the opportunities that you see tonight, and you can come up with an idea and build your own app. Your idea, your app, built your way. Number 2 is integrate, and I'm going to spend most of my time talking to you about what it takes to integrate, what some of the integration opportunities are. And then number 3 is sell, and we'll walk you through a demo of what you actually do to take the application you've built and integrated with Google Apps and list it into the Google Apps Marketplace. Let's start with integration. Google Apps now has a large and growing number of extension points that are available for you as developers to use to integrate your application with the family of Google Apps. We'll talk about a few of these now. You'll see demos of how many of them work. This list is growing. We'll be adding more over time. The way that you tell us what your application does and what points of integration you want to do is you create a manifest file. It's a simple XML file, and we're going to walk through adding a few snippets of XML into this file, one for each point of integration that our sample app is going to use. So let's talk about one of the points of integration that our users, our customers, have asked for. They say, I have a Google Apps control panel. I use that control panel to manage my applications, to administer them, to set them up, to configure them. As I add new apps into my family of cloud apps that I'm running my business on, I'd like the new applications to be managed and administered and configured through the same interface. So we have provided hooks in the Apps Marketplace to let you as developers include your app in the Google Apps control panel. And the way you do that is very simple. You put an entry in the manifest that says, hey, here's the name of my app, and here's some of the connection points that I want to make available for management. I might have a support page, I might have a config page, I might have an admin page, whatever it is that you want to expose. You tell us about it in the manifest, and then your app becomes manageable through the central management console. Well, another point of integration that Vic mentioned is universal navigation. If you've ever used Google Apps, you notice up at the top left of the screen, right above your mail or your calendar, there's a nav bar. That means you're a click or two away from getting at any of the other apps in the Google Apps suite. So as a user, I can always find my way to whatever other application I want to use using that consistent navigation. Well, if you have an application, you probably want it to be a part of the same navigation model, it's part of the same nav bar, so your users are a click or two away from not only the built-in Google Apps, but also from your app. How do you do that? You put an entry in the manifest. A few lines of XML, you tell us, here's the string that I want to have show up in the menu, and here's the link that it should go to when somebody clicks on that link. Pretty simple. Now, what happens after they click on the link? Well, the most important thing is what doesn't happen. They don't have to deal with a new set of credentials. They don't have to remember another username and password. They don't have to enter it again. They don't have the speed bump of dealing with yet another authentication step. How do we do that? Well, we use the